This is Suka. She is my partner in crime. Hopefully she'll lie down most of the time. I've got the children locked in a room. And yeah, it's been an interesting week. It's been an interesting week. I would say a month ago, I was longing for a lot more time at home, and the universe answered. Hi, Claire. Welcome. So now I have a lot more time at home and definitely going through a lot of emotions. Um, yeah, a little bit of kind of locked up. And some of us are at home all by ourselves. I'm at home with my two young children. So as much as we are alone, we are together. So there's definitely lessons in that. And the days are kind of all these new kind of rhythms. And at night, there is some sort of normalcy, right, with dinner and stuff. And I think those moments are even more valuable now. So I thought for today's slow flow, I'd go with something tried and true. And it's a lunar sequence. We are in a new moon, moving towards a full moon. So hopefully kind of pulling back light and energy into our new norms. And so it's more repetitive patterns and not very intense movements, so that we can kind of come into some kind of ritual of meditation through the movement. And I'm just still letting people in. So you can get ready on your mat if you want extra blankets. Hello, hello, come on in, mute your mic. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna make sure everything, lots of echo. So Carolyn, is the feedback on? How's my sound? Let me just give a thumbs up. I got these new magic AirPods, so okay, perfect. And we'll get going. So if you want, you can sit on a blanket, you can sit on a pillow, whatever you got at home is important. And just come to a comfortable seated position. And my hopes with this practice is that you can look at me. That's what I'm here for. That's what the video is for. But a lot of you know my voice and my cues, that it really becomes this individual practice on your mat, and I'm just here for that extra inkling of support. And as we go, maybe my voice gets a little less and your internal breath gets a little more, because right now it's really about self-nourishing in any which way we can, through breath, through movement. And so just come to a comfortable seated position. Happy Wednesday, wherever you are. May you breathe in wellness for the next hour or so, and continually through your day and through every emotion that you're moving through. Do not push them away. Do not try to ignore them and say, everything's okay. I'm really good at that. Allow them to be felt. And if you're feeling good at this point, right, if you're like, yes, I'm in it, but I'm feeling strong, it's even more important to kind of hold on to that strength for others, even in a virtual world, that energy can be shared. So from here, just bring your feet out wide into a wide Baddha Konasana. And we're just going to start to rotate in the pelvis. And I want it to be comfortable. You're going to start to go in a circle. Follow your breath. Very intuitive movement. So the hands can be on the front of the knees and the shins. And as you inhale, the chest comes forward. As you come around, you're rounding like a cat. So we're moving through that kind of cat-cow undulation in the spine. And let the neck be heavy. In these times, I think neck work is always so valuable, but even in this time, especially when a lot of us are doing more virtual seminars and trying to stay connected through our computer, we got to take into consideration what that is doing physically to those small joints in the neck. So really start to feel the neck loosen up and release. And sound will also help you do that, like exhaling deeply through the mouth. Most likely you're practicing by yourself or privately, so nobody can hear. So really let those inhibitions and kind of mental kind of fears dissipate. And then you'll gently come back to center. Bring the spine back to center. Take a full breath there. And then hopefully you remembered which way you're going, but it should feel a little different, right? And then go the other way. You can start nice and deep, big circles or smaller. And just feeling the spine rotate, almost churning in the pelvic bowl. It's a nice massage for the belly organs. We start to get into the adrenals and the kidneys. And just love the body in all this time of unsurety. What you can be sure of is your breath here in this moment. Once again, the neck releases. And this is your practice. I'm just kind of laying out this container or structure so that you can go deeper. So if there's a spot that's like talking to you that needs attention, listen to it, breathe into it, and then just continue on with us as you're ready. Good. And then you're going to come back to center. And now I kind of want you to let go of the linear movement and just start to move in any which way. Okay, so figure eights, left, right. The idea is we're dropping out of this analytical mind that is crazy right now for most of us. You might be deep in your meditation, but things always change. But just to be the breathing body and be blessed in this body that's able to move and breathe at this time. We have to cherish it. And we recognize the power in that. Just moving in any which direction. Let the breath guide you. So the breath is now the captain of the ship. And the ship being the body is just willing to take the ride and be the structure, the container of support. Good, and then you're gonna come center and just exhale. Let's just take a forward fold, 8 breaths. Breathe into the broadness across the back, feeding the back of the heart, the valves, the back of the lungs, the diaphragm. Good. You'll start to walk the hands back. Help your knees back together. Stretch the legs out. Stretch up through the spine. Turn all 10 toes up towards the ceiling. And then I want you to try to rotate your toes in towards each other. So start to feel an internal rotation in the legs. Hold. And then exhale, rotate them out. And for some of us, that's way easier. So just kind of starting to really notice the tendencies of your body. Now I have very little rotation. My toes don't want to turn in towards each other. Okay, so recognize. But on the other hand, whew, I can, that old ballet class I took, plie. And just do that a couple times. See if you can make the movement happen from in the upper hips, right? So not so much the knees and just the ankles, but a deep rotation of the thigh bone in the pelvis. And also feeling a little bit of engagement through your low belly as you do that. The navel draws in. And if it's difficult to sit upright, bring your hands down. Give yourself the support that you need, right? This is a slow flow supportive practice. So we assist ourselves any which way we can to go deeper and to be more present. We'll just do that a couple more times. And then we're going to do the same thing in the shoulders. So bring your legs out. And all I want you to do is shake your arms out to the side, and you're going to rotate the arms internally. So your shoulders, it's like you're going to collapse in your chest. Not a fun sensation. But then I want you to rotate the other way. Sit up really tall, low belly draws in, open up your chest. And then exhale. Let's do about 4 more of those. So internal, external rotation. Good. And breathe. Once again, if there's tightness in the shoulders, right, most of us always have tightness in the shoulders, but feeling this kind of really awkward hunched over position, but opening up through the chest, opening up through the heart, and feeling that full rotation. Let's just do 2 more. Exhale, keep the low belly drawing in, start to feel the rotation in the shoulder, and exhale. And this is really good for strengthening your upper back, right? Because you're getting both cycles, and then hopefully you find neutral and really feel the work there. And then open up. And then lift up both arms. If you need to, bend your knees. Exhale, forward fold. You can hold the soles of the feet. You can bring the fingertips on either side. Low belly draws in. We're just going to start by getting into the hamstrings before we start to flow. So I just want you to feel an opening in all parts of the body that we're going to move. Good. And then inhale, come back up. So I have a little bit of a core challenge for you. Cross your legs and see if you can bring the soles of the feet on the ground and push to standing. Okay. Keep your ankles crossed. See if you can bend and sit back down. Now, knees, not always gonna work for this one. Maybe your hands come forward, just feel that wobbliness. Come back up. And then sit back down. And then we got to cross. So switch the cross of the ankles. We got 2 on the other side. This side's always harder for me. So you want to lean, put the weight on your feet. You can shift to the balls of the feet. Use your hands, lift up. Isn't it better when nobody's around to see you wobble? And then slowly come back down. At least enjoy it, okay? But then we got to come back up. Last one. Now we're up. We're going to stay up. Uncross the legs. Good. Move any blankets just off to the left. So you know your knees are going to need padding. If you're on a carpet, it's definitely much more supportive. But if you know your knees are going to need padding, have everything there. And then I want you to come to your top of your mat. From here, your feet are hip bone distance apart. And just start to bend the knees, kind of find this shift from left to right. Once again, we're getting into the hips. You'll find a gentle sway. And then the chin's going to drop into the chest. And as you sway, I want you to slowly roll down towards the floor. If your fingertips don't come to the floor because your legs are longer, you can bring them to your knees. If they come to the floor, come to the floor. Let the spine release. Keep pedaling the legs, right? And that like they're kind of pulling you up. Pull the low belly in. Start to lift the torso. Back up. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the chest. So here's that rotation that we were working, right? We rolled forward, but now I want you to roll back. Bring your hands to your low back. Lift up through the chest, buttocks, flesh, and tailbone down, and just take 3 breaths here. Feel as though you're taking your chin to where the wall meets the ceiling, depending on what your ceilings look like. But draw the upper arms towards one another, and then draw the low belly in. And just breathe. Just notice what comes up. Deep breath in. Good. Now you're going to forward fold. Bend your knees if you need to. The hands are going to slide down the legs. So we're looking for a deeper hamstring stretch here. Slowly bring the legs down. Let the head release. Inhale. Come halfway up. And then you're going to place the fingertips on the ground. So to bend the knees to step your left foot to the back of the mat. Slowly bring your left knee down on a pillow or on the floor if it's fine. Inhale, low lunge. Reach the arms up. Exhale, squeeze the elbows down, draw the low belly in. And all we're going to do is that 4 more times. So just a gentle cycle, starting to get into all the joints, which is kind of, on a rainy, cloudy day, at least it is where I am, right? Tend to be a little stickier, right? So we want to get the blood moving through the joints. Once again, if it's too much, or if you have any shoulder impingements, you can go out to feel that opening. Right? Adjust as you need. Feel the chest open. 1 more full breath. And then exhale, hands come down. You're going to straighten your front leg. So half splits. And we're going to work here. Now, if you can have your fingertips on the floor, great. If it's really hard to, 1, you can bring your pillow in for an extra few inches, or keep your knee bent, because we're going to do that internal, external rotation with the hip. So from here, flexing your right foot, toes point up to the sky, and you're going to rotate the toes out. Take a breath there. If you want to add more, you pull the hips back. Come back to center. Rotate the toes in. Little more awkward, but go into it. And then just do that 4 more times. So with your breath, keep your shoulders relaxed. Internal, external rotation. And you don't have to be like an anatomy guru, okay, to know that your femur bone, your thigh bone, turns in and out this ball and socket joint. And that's what helps us move and walk. And you may be getting out and doing lots of exercise or walking. That's great. Maybe you're less, but in this moment, we're just kind of feeding energy to that joint and the work that it does lovingly. Good. 1 more full breath. Good. And then come back to center for just a couple breaths. Fold over the leg neutral. Try keeping the spine really long. Good. And then you're going to shift forward. Plant the hands. Down dog. Pull that right leg back. Good old down dog. Breathe. First round in down dog. You should feel a little different in the right and the left side. If not, don't stress. Good. And then from here, you're going to slowly lower the knees. Walk the hands out, and we're going to come into half dog. Get a little more play in the spine. Cat-cow. I want you to round the spine up. Exhale, melt the spine towards the floor. See if you can lift your gaze. So getting some neck strengthening here. Push into the hands, lift the chest away from the floor, chin to the chest. Exhale, tailbone up to the sky. Lift the gaze. Feel the neck muscles contract at the back of the cervical spine. And then 3 more. Bless you. 2 more rounds. I'm trying to keep an eye on, see if there's any latecomers they could come on in. And then from here, you're going to look forward. Come onto your elbows, and we're going to come out to Sphinx. Sphinx has been my friend lately. It's a much more grounded, strengthening back bend, right? And a lot of times it's always like, do Sphinx if your back hurts, or da-da-da-da, or you can't do up dog. But there is so much more to it. So elbows underneath the shoulders. And I want you to press the tops of the feet down to start to feel the low belly lift. Okay? And I really want you to feel the buttocks flesh or the tailbone, right, moving towards the heels. And sometimes you just need to kind of sink in, like let your belly drop to the floor. So that's like, okay, that's just you being, I don't want to say lazy, but engaged. Be engaged in this pose. Okay? It's a beautiful chest opener. We can work the neck, drawing the chin back ever so slightly. Okay? And you want it to just drop to the chest a little bit. So we're starting to engage those thin muscles on either side of the neck. And then we're going to do a little core work here. So without dropping the belly all the way down, I want you to try to lift it even more. Press the upper thighs into the floor. You should even feel it in your triceps because your elbows are pressing down. And then gently soften by lifting the chest more. Shoulder blades draw towards one another. And we'll do that 4 more times. So our count is 5 today. Low belly lifting in. And then exhale. And just find your breath. Feel that gentle contraction, pubic bone to the navel. And sometimes those intrinsic moves are way more kind of wisdom giving than those grand moves. And the idea is we're looking for the efficiency of the superficial muscles, not the gross muscles. Right? The muscles that actually support the joints, the ligaments, the tendons. Good, 1 more. And I'm really feeling it in my triceps. So just pay attention to where you're feeling it. And it should be a nice, dull, achy sensation. And then slowly slide your hands back to where your elbows were. And just push back to down dog. Slow and steady. Good. We're still on the right leg. So the right leg's going to lift. I want you to press the left heel down. Hug the upper arms in. And then exhale. Step your right foot forward. Good. Keep off the mat this time. If you need more support, you'll bring your left knee down, but let's just rise crescent pose. So pushing down through that right heel, lift up. Now this time we're going to bring the hands behind the back completely, interlace the fingers, open up the chest, low belly draws in. And just feel the pulse of your breath here. Okay? As you inhale, there's this energy kind of lifting, hopefully. And then as you exhale, maybe this settling deeper into the pose physically. Just take a couple more breaths. Good. The arms will float back up. And then the hands will come down. And all you're going to do is step to the top of your mat with that left foot. Keep your feet hip bone distance apart. Deep breath in. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward. Fingertips on the floor. Press them into the shins. Draw the shoulders away from the ear. Exhale, forward fold. Let everything just kind of hang. And we're going to do an active lift. So it's not a ragdoll. Bend your knees. Low belly draws in. Feel that work that you did in Sphinx. Pull the arms in. Push into the floor to lift. Engaging the whole back. And the hands just come down by your side. Tadasana. Samasthiti, finding balance here. Deep breath in. And we'll play with that on the second side. So just the same, right? So the hands can come back to the low back if you want to get a little deeper. Right? Maybe the fingertips turn up, but you good to your wrists. Lift the heart and chest. Draw the tailbone down. Navel draws in. Right? Thinking about looking for getting oxygen into the deeper portions of the lungs. Nice deep breath here. No rush. All the time you need. Good. And then from here, kind of going into the hamstrings, stretching the hamstrings, heart and chest forward. If you need to, bend your knees, right? You got to take care of yourself. Melt into the forward fold. Inhale halfway up to prepare your spine for transition. And then this time the right foot goes back. Slowly lowering the right knee. Now there's always an opportunity for strength there as opposed to just plopping the knee down, right? Feel the muscles work into every transition. We'll work into our arms and shoulders. Inhale the arms left, pressing through that left heel. Low belly draws in, exhale. 4 more of your breaths. Good, the arms will come up. Exhale, hands come down. Lift the sole of the foot. Fingertips come to the inside, playing with the external, internal. So opening the toes to the left. Heart, chest forward. You want to add more, feel as though you're trying to drag that left heel back. Find lots of space between the heart and the belly button. And then come back to center. And then rotate the toes awkwardly into the midline of your mat. Really trying to strengthen and stretch this IT band, the outer hamstrings. Get back to center. Bow over the leg just for a moment. Good, and then shift. So you can transition to down dog. Now, I mean, a lot of times it's like, oh, slow flow is too easy, but there's always ways to really up the ante. The hands push slow, right? The slower you go, the more engagement is needed. Kind of look for those edges and just land in down dog. Neck relaxes. Good, we're gonna come into half dog with an option to add on some core work. So starting in half dog, chest towards the floor, bring your forehead to the floor to support. Low belly draws in, sideways, nice and long. And then from here, the elbows will come down. First round, you're just gonna walk the knees back and to come into a half forearm plank. Now I can't see myself, but I'm going to try to feel the sense that my tailbone's in line with my shoulder blades. And it should feel like you're working, right? Pressing down through the forearms. You want to add more for the last 5 breaths. Curl your toes under and press your heels back and breathe. Yeah. Feel the inner thighs rotate up. It's way harder to do and talk. And chest forward. One more full breath. Good. And then drop into Sphinx. Keep the low belly gently lifting in Sphinx. You can stay here, or you're going to slide the hands to where the elbows are and come into cobra. 5 breaths in cobra. So if this feels like you just kind of sink into the spine, let's work on lifting the chest up, rotating the upper arms back like you did at the beginning. And navel draws towards the spine, inner thighs rotate up. 3. Look straight ahead. 2. Upper arms hug in. And 1. Good. Push back to your knees. Curl your toes under. Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. You can always rest in half dog or child's pose. Let the head release. Good. Left leg's gonna left. It's the leader. Press the right heel down so you get that hamstring stretch. Nice full breath in. Exhale everything out. Good. Step your left foot forward. Ground, rise, crescent pose. Hands come behind the back. Interlace the opposite thumb on top. Open up the chest. Lift the heart away from the belly button. Feel as though the back of the heart is lifting, tailbone drawing down. Good, we'll close this side. The arms go back up. Hands come down on either side of your left foot. Float the right foot forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Let the neck completely relax. Bend the knees. Hug the outer hips in like you've got a block between your thighs. And slowly start to roll on up. Shoulders roll up and shrug down. You land Samasthiti, even stance. That's wave 1. So that one we did really, really slow, refine the work. And now we're just gonna kind of keep at that pace, but 1 movement each time. So top of your mat, steady breath. We have 1 add-on at the end of this wave, just a twist. And the idea is you're just kind of getting deeper into each shape. And that's the depth of the practice, not the difficulty. It is going deeper through breath. Gently open up the eyes, top of your mat. If your back feels okay, you can take the arms all the way up, opening up the chest, standing back then, tailbone down, lift up through the chest, soften around the shoulders. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, bend the knees, step your left knee back. Slowly lower the left knee to the floor. Sorry, I know. And we got to deal with the life. Exhale, hands come down. Shift your weight back. Ardha Hanumanasana. Walk the fingertips this time over to the right side of your foot and bow. Come back to center. Step back, down dog. Knees come down, lengthen out. Half dog. You can come to half forearm plank, full forearm plank, or immediately into dolphin. Right? Just those simple add-ons. Just to add a little strength, still moving nice and slow. Good, walk back out if you went into dolphin, or slowly lower the hips. Come here, baby. Inhale, if you're ready now, up dog. Spine is ready for it, opening up the chest. Exhale, down dog. 3 breaths. Good, right leg's gonna left. We'll come into crescent and then we'll add the twist. So let right foot steps forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands come behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Open up the chest. And then just adding the twisting lunge. Lift up, exhale, hands come down on either side of your right foot. Left fingertips stay down, right arm goes up. 5 breaths here. Keep hugging that right hip in. Feel the rotation in the back of the heart. 1 more full breath. Good, from here, right hand will come down, reach forward, float the left leg forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, hug the outer hips in. Pull the energy up while you push your feet down. Right? You're engaging the muscles as you pull up to create stability and strength in the spine. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Arms come down by the side. Hands can go to the low back or right to the other side. Inhale, float the arms up. Lift up through the chest, soften around the shoulders. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Starting to hear your breath. Move the body. Step your right foot back. Knee comes down. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Hands come down. Shift back, Ardha Hanumanasana. Walk the hands over. Keep going. Bow to the right side. And then gently shift forward, bending your knee. And pull back, down dog. There goes that recording. Upper arms hug in. Good, knees come down. Walk the arms forward. Choose your own adventure. You can just stay here or start to move into forearm plank or dolphin. Those go-getters, if you want a little extra work, dolphin, 1 leg lifts, 3 breaths on each side. And then slowly make your way into your back bend. Present, awaken those smaller muscles. Good, exhale, down dog. The left leg is the leader. Still. Left leg lefts, right heel melts for a moment. Lift your right heel. Just step the left foot forward. Ground through the left heel, rise. Hands come down, interlace the fingers, open up the chest. Arms go up. Exhale, hands come down on either side of the left foot. Right fingertips stay down. Feel as though you're hugging that left hip in to open up the chest. Keep that right inner thigh lifting. Let the breath do the rest of the work. Good, hand comes down. Float the right foot forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Contract as you roll on up to standing, navel drawing back. Heart lifts. Pause for your cause. That was wave 2. For some reason in yoga, we like to do things in odd numbers. So we're gonna do one more, exactly the same. From here, I'm gonna try to lessen my voice, just simple cueing, because you know it in your body. Trusting your breath. Make any adjustments you need to the movement, modifications or variations, right? Really owning the practice. So being the yoga as opposed to doing the yoga. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, let go of the ideas, the expectations of the shoulds, the woulds. And as you're ready, hands to the low back or reach them up, right? What's your adventure gonna be? Low belly draws in. Exhale, forward fold. Neck relaxes. Inhale, halfway up, preparing for the step back. Step your right knee back, or sorry, your left foot back, left knee comes down. One rise and rotation in the shoulders. And then shift into the half splits. Walk the hands to the right, fold a little deeper. Come back to center. Step back to down dog. What is your transition into space and time? It's yours. Knees come down. You can just hang out in half dog or work the core. Forearm plank, half plank, or dolphin. Feel free to add the leg lifts as we all hold in whatever shape for 5 deep breaths. Making your way out into your back bend. The pelvis comes down. You land in Sphinx. Add the lifts. Elbows in. Heart open. Exhale. Back to down dog. 3 breaths here. Less thought into the movement, more presence, right leg lifts. For a few breaths, press the left heel down. And then when you're ready to transition, lift it up. Step forward. One big lift, crescent. Exhale, hands come behind the back. Interlace, open the heart. Hands float up. Move into the twist. Fingertips on either side of your right foot. Left fingertips down, right arm up. Good, hand comes down. Reach your fingertips forward, put the weight in the right foot. Beautiful, sweet little float. Placing every body part in a special way. Melt, forward fold. Hug the outer hips in. Feel as though you got a block between your thighs. Engage the muscles as you come up. You're starting to feel the alignment of the bones and the joints. Samasthiti, even stance. Your next inhale, opening up the chest, hands to the low back or arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, preparing the spine for transition. This time, the right foot goes back. Right knee down, lift in low lunge, one big shoulder rotation. Hands come down, and then the hips shift back. Walk the fingertips to the left, bow. Good, shift forward. Last vinyasa transition. Step back to down dog. It's yours to mix and match. Knees come down, half dog. You can play with half forearm plank or forearm plank or dolphin. Start to melt your way into Sphinx. You can stay there, find the bigger back bends, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Left leg's the leader. For a few breaths, press your right heel down so you get that stretch. Lift the right heel to step the left foot forward. Help it if it needs it. Inhale, rise. Hands come behind the back. Open up the chest. Hands lift to come down on either side. Ground that right fingertip to right palm to the floor. Open up for the twist. Exhale, hand comes down. Float your way to the top of your mat. Right foot joins the left. Exhale, forward fold. Now honor your knees here. We're gonna ground. So take your feet as wide as the mat. Turn your toes out. So working our way to Malasana. But maybe just bend the knees enough so the fingertips can get to the floor. Okay? If the knees or the hips kind of aren't in love with this pose, respect the joints. Okay? But if the muscles are kind of resisting, maybe try to sit into it a little bit. Low belly draws in. If you can come all the way down, come all the way down. Elbows to the inside of the knees. Palms press. Lift the sternum, let the head bow. And just sit within it. See if you can feel a sense of hugging the outer ankles in. Floor of the pelvis in. And it's a really sacred shape once you get past the intensity of it, which comes up in many forms. Now you can always bring your bottom all the way down onto the floor and just have the legs into the shape. We're all going to get there in a second. Take 5 more breaths. Good. And in your safest way possible, come on down to seated. Dandasana. So the legs are straight out, pretty much where we started. So we took that flow and kind of coming back to the top. A little different this time. If you need to, grab a pillow to sit up on. And then we're going to do Upavista Konasana, so wide leg. Not the splits. You should be able to touch your toes. Now, if the hips are tight, the low back is tight, sitting up on any pillow or blanket will help rotate your pelvis this way towards your feet and help you get there. Or you can bend your knees and really work with pressing the sit bones down and drawing the lumbar spine and the tailbone towards the front of your mat. So it's without the props that we have, we can live and do yoga. Sometimes it's the ego that just doesn't want to make the adjustments because we think we're less of a yogi, but you're actually more of a yogi if you make those wise adjustments. It's not about how you get your nose to the floor, but it's about how strong you feel in the shape. And then just bring your fingertips forward and start to take your chest forward, okay? Not down. Okay? So really keeping a lot of the space that we cultivated in the spine. And then as you inhale, you bring the space in with an appreciation and a thank you. And as you exhale, hinge deep into the hips. Good, just take 3 breaths there. And then we're gonna work a little bit of our neck. So from here, I want you to walk to the right. Put your right hand to the right inner shin. See if you can bend enough laterally in that right hip to tuck the right elbow to the inner knee and press into the inner thigh. And then I want you to reach the left arm up. If your shoulder doesn't like it, keep it down here, that's fine. But the idea is I want you to feel the rotation into your chest. So the right rib is drawing forward, the left rib cage is drawing back. And then you're going to take your hand behind your head, that left hand behind the head, and gently press the head into the shoulder. That's all I want you to do is just breathe into that space. See if you can really feel that left thigh pressing down. So it's like the left rib cage lifting off that left thigh. If the knees bent, that's fine too. We want to open up the flow of blood into the left rib cage. And if it's comfortable, add a little more twist. Last few breaths, the heart up towards the sky. 3, 2, 1. Slowly release. Come back to center in a slight forward fold. Re-engage that extension and shortening of the back muscles. And then from here, finding the lateral work now to the left leg. So you can get that left arm kind of pressing in to help feel a traction of rotation. Reach the right arm out to the side. These are my ta-da arms. Here we are, breathe. And then the hand comes behind the head. Press to strengthen the neck muscles. Maybe feel it in the jaw. You might feel it in the mid-back. Where do you feel it? The body's telling you it needs the attention there. Last rotation, heart up towards the sky. Honor any edge you hit. Don't try to blast through it. Welcome it. Good, and exhale, come back down to center. Whoo. Maybe you fold a little deeper or respect the edge you're at. And then let go. So coming into a little bit of a yin form here. You listened, you move deeper into that sense of being and not doing, and just drop into it. And then gently build up. Hands push into the floor. You're gonna lift your legs. So pull your knees in. Good. I have a little core work before we go completely relaxed. I want you kind of to play with that variation we did at the beginning, right? This is the work. So your hands can come back behind you, but this is that kind of from seated to standing. Just play with it in the hips. And as you take the legs forward, squeeze. And as you take the knees apart and towards the chest, I want you to squeeze into the ankles. And let's just do 5 on each side. If you want more challenge, right, you can take the arms into it. So as the legs are straight, the arms go straight up, and exhale, pull down. 2 more. Ooh. And 1. Good. Switch the cross. Play hands down or up, your choice. Squeezing the legs. Inhale, knees apart. Lift your chest between the thighs. And just start to really feel those hip muscles awaken along with the core, the strength in the back. Good, 1 more round or 2 or 3, I don't know, do however many you want until you feel ready. Good, and then unwind. Slowly release. I'd love for us to take a couple deep breaths in Baddha Konasana. If that doesn't work for the knees without support or anything, you can go the other way. Just to release all the neutral work that we did in the hips, and to feel the inner thighs open. And it's such a great pose for opening the digestive system, the heart and the chest. I want you to take a deep breath in from the soul, the floor of the pelvis, up into the throat. Hold just for a couple seconds, and then exhale. Really release the spine. So finding that pause between the inhale and exhale, filling the emptiness, and then inhale, floor of the pelvis up into the throat, and exhale. 1 more round, inhale. And we pause at the top. It helps feed energy into the body. And then exhale. Good, you'll draw your knees into your chest. Take the next minute if you want to twist, right, which will feel nice. Just a simple twist, or happy baby. Once again, just intuitively kind of listening to the body. So its needs are less in that final relaxation place. And really, the voice within it's always been there. That intuitive, your greatest teacher, the self, your truth. Maybe you hear it clearer, or maybe there's a lot more filters that you're having to deal with. In this practice, that's all we're trying to do. Find self. As you're ready, start to lengthen the legs out. We'll do about a minute Shavasana. I welcome you if you want to take it longer and kind of check out here so I don't disrupt you. The work is done. Let go even of the breath. Just rest in the space of self. Start to deepen your breath. No rush. Just listen to it. Feel the action of it. Maybe it leads you to your pulse. Move the fingers gently. Rub the thumb over the fingertips. This touch and connection to our own body is very valuable in this time. Fingertips move, the toes move. Draw your knees into your chest. Literally giving yourself a hug because we can't really hug anybody else. Right? So let that be a transcendent hug sent out from your hug pod of knees into your chest. And then roll to your favorite side. Maybe it's easier to roll out your mat now. Right? But maybe there's still challenges to kind of really commit to this time in your house when there's probably lots of distractions. So props for doing so. And then we'll sit up. My heart, my light, my energy goes out to you as I receive yours. Bring the hands to the heart. Take a deep inhale, exhale through the mouth. And then inhale for your own private own. That's going to be shared throughout the universe. Nice deep breath in. Happy Wacky Wednesday. Namaste. So thank you very much. I think I can see most of you. I'll probably put out next week's schedule on Friday if you have times that you'd like or suggestions. Hi, Myra. Let me know. I'm still working out little tech stuff, but hopefully I'll like get into a rhythm of it. Yeah. But blessed be. Email me at NatalieDawn, DAWN yoga.com. I'm trying to keep all the virtual stuff there. If you have any questions or something didn't work out, let's figure it out together. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you soon virtually. Have a great day.
Thank you, Natalie.
Bye.
Bye.